Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Big Hit. It's been a few weeks since we last aired, but we are back with the spring semester, and we're doing something a little bit new today. We're not going to do the traditional dress up in suits and talk about sports. We're still going to talk about sports, but it's going to be a little more relaxed. So, the Super Bowl is coming up this weekend, and we have one football fanatic, one guy who likes football, and then we have Cincinnati Bengals fan Tyann, actually one of our new members. So we decided, let's just sit down and talk about the Super Bowl and what we think about it. So, Tyann, I gotta know, Tyann, when the Bengals beat the Raiders, and then they beat the Titans, #1 seed in the NFC, and then they beat the powerhouse Chiefs. What was your thought process when McPherson kicked that game-winning field goal?
I really had no idea what was going on. I was so shocked. I almost peed myself in my living room. I don't know. It's just crazy because we were the underdogs for years, and it seemed like every little thing that could go our way went our way, and it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, as a Steeler fan, I hated the Bengals for years, especially during the Vontaze Burfict era. For those of you, the Shazier hit, Le'Veon Bell getting injured, Antonio Brown receiving CTE and ruining his entire career. We've all seen what he's been doing nowadays, running off against the Jets. But I like the Bengals now because of the new atmosphere that they created.
Yeah.
They don't have Adam Peckman-Jones. They don't have Burfict. They don't have any of those old players. So I felt happy for them going to the Super Bowl. I was like, you know what? They haven't been in the Super Bowl since 1989, 88.
88.
And that was against, Joe Montana's and Jerry Rice's 49ers, which we understand why they lost. It's them too. But I felt happy when they went to the Super Bowl. With that being said, I am going to be rooting for the Rams, though.
Why?
Why? Well, here's my reason. Here's my reasoning why. Because they have Aaron Donald, who is a hometown boy. He played for Penn Hills. Then he went to Pittsburgh. And then he went to the Rams. So he's from Pennsylvania, and I feel like, him being from this state, I need to at least root for somebody from this state. And I much like I said, I like the fact that they went to the Super Bowl. They're not my #1 choice for winning it.
Understandable.
What do you think?
So for me, I really, like he just said, he brought up Aaron Donald, former Pitt guy, but you can't forget about Tyler Boyd, who also played for Pitt, who is on the Bengals. But personally, I really want the Rams to win just because the Lions are probably my second favorite team, and I would love to see Matthew Stafford finally win it all.
Yeah, Joe's in his second season. Stafford's been on the Detroit Lions since 2009. He deserves a ring. Get him a ring. Joe Burrow has 14 seasons left.
Yeah.
And the Bengals are not going to go anywhere. They have Burrow, they have Chase, they have the best receiving corps in the league.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase are the best receiving trio in the entire NFL. Add on Uzama, add on Joe. That offense, if they can get an O-line, they might win back-to-back Super Bowls.
That's what we need. We need a line.
That's not what you need.
Oh, we do.
You need a line, but you don't need to win back-to-back. Just give somebody else a chance. Listen, the Chiefs, I was happy. I was so happy when I found out the Chiefs lost. So happy because I did not want to see another Chiefs Super Bowl. They've been at the Super Bowl back-to-back. I like Patrick Mahomes. I hate Brittany Matthews and Jackson Mahomes so much to my core. They are so obnoxious.
Yep.
Especially Jackson Mahomes. Did you read about the incident where he went to the Kansas City bar and said, "Oh, they didn't serve me fast enough," so he said something on TikTok, and then the bar clapped back "Listen, we don't serve entitled little boys here." And I saw that, I'm like, thank God. And that's something I saw so many memes of Brittany Matthews and Jackson Mahomes getting snapped by Thanos. And I'm like, yes, I love this so much. I like him because he's one of those works in silence kind of guys. Because he started at Ohio State and then went to LSU. His first season had arguably the greatest quarterback season out of any college quarterback. Won the national championship, won the Heisman, and then got drafted by the Bengals, which everybody thought was going to destroy his career.
Yeah.
And it looked like that the first season.
Yes.
With his ACL, MCL, LCR, or whatever tear, him getting his leg completely obliterated, looking like Alex Smith. And when I saw that, I'm like, all right, the Bengals, just don't waste this guy's career.
Yeah.
Please. You've done that to so many people.
A lot.
You literally, like, I don't want to get into the amount of people they've wasted, but he looks like he's definitely going to be sticking around. And I'm scared for the Steelers because, yeah, well, obviously we all know Ben is retired, but now they're thinking that Mason Rudolph is somehow going to come in and lead this team. And I saw him play. Even as a Steeler fan, I'm like, he is not the guy.
Yeah.
No.
There's no way in hell. And you a fan of the Steelers then?
Yes, definitely.
What are your thoughts on that situation?
Kenny Pickett, please. I want a Pitt guy to come here. He has more years. He'll be under control. He's going to be a rookie. That's 5 free years of football. Already under contract.
Okay.
Please don't get Aaron Rodgers. Please don't waste first-round picks on Russell Wilson.
Okay. Well, I don't even know if he's worth a first-round pick. To be
Yeah.
honest. He's kind of like, yeah, he's been in the Super Bowl twice. He hasn't. I mean, he's great, but he's not that guy. He's not a first-round pick guy. But I think the same with the Bengals. The Steelers' need is an O-line.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the fact that Najee somehow got 1,000 yards rushing, even though he got tackled like behind the line, like 50% of the time. Then every time he did have a big run, it was called back for holding him. I literally looked at my screen. I'm like, what the? Like, can you just let the guy run, please, for crying out loud? I swear, I was so mad. And it's the same guy every single time. And I'm like, one time is enough.
Yep.
You do it twice, okay. Whose fault is this?
Kendrick Green.
Kendrick Green, I had high hopes for him.
Yeah.
But when I saw him get dipped by a linebacker, I was like, you're not that guy.
Yeah.
Move you to guard, get some other guy in here. And yeah, I'm scared. I'm like, this is going to be like the 90s for the Steelers all over again.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be.
Yeah. Back on what you were saying about the Bengals receiving core, we can't forget about what the Rams have on offense. Cooper Kupp, and of course, the man who kind of reinvented himself going to LA, Odell Beckham Jr.
I think the most important part is that Rams defense, though.
Yeah.
Because we saw what the Titans did to Joe Burrow. 9 sacks, and they still won. However, you're going against not the defensive player of the year, but second to that guy, because TJ Watt's number 1.
Hopefully.
He's not. But Aaron Donald is he's the best interior defensive lineman.
Yes.
Then you have the best corner in the game, Jalen Ramsey. And I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup to see how that O-line will face against Aaron Donald, Von Miller, that defense. I mean, obviously, if you get pressure on Joe Burrow, it doesn't really do much.
No.
But just depending on how much that pressure is and if that pressure becomes something even more serious, like an injury. Because he got lucky, honestly. He's getting sacked 9 times without an injury.
Yeah.
We saw him get sacked once last year. And that was it.
Yeah.
That was
That was the end of it.
yeah, sacks, one and done, knee outside the socket. But offense definitely. OBJ going back down to LA and making a statement. Cooper Kupp, who had an amazing season. I don't know if the Bengals cornerbacks can really contain him at all.
Yeah.
Because Mike Hilton, he's good, but he's not covered the offensive player of the year good.
Yeah.
And so Eli Apple, he made some plays last week against the Chiefs, stopping that touchdown, but he's still not that guy to cover him. And then if you cover, if you somehow end up covering, like double covering Cooper Kupp, you still have OBJ.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Bengals really have a game plan for that.
I think the key points for this game is if the Rams can protect the home field advantage, B, if the Bengals defense shows up and their offensive line, or if the Rams can keep it a game or take control and not blow it at the end, like they have the last 2 weeks. They've had a lot of close games. They almost let Tom Brady have a 27-3 comeback, gave me panic attacks from the Falcons Super Bowl. We almost saw a repeat. But it comes down, it's either going to be a really high-scoring game, or I'm worried it's going to be one of the Patriots-Rams Super Bowls, a 13-3 really low-scoring game.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the offense is heavily have enough firepower to at least make some points. Whether it's the Rams or the Bengals, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because when we're talking about the Bengals defense, they have Hendricks, they have Hubbard. Those are 2 pretty decent pass rushing people, but I don't know if they're going to make that big of a difference when it comes to that Rams offense. Sorry, Tyann.
No. I'm gonna let you guys talk.
Hey, you can chime in a little bit here. You can. What are your expectations for this game? Like regarding how it's going to be played?
I think we're gonna win.
Of course you do.
I
That's
do.
your
No,
hope.
I do think we're actually.
But you gotta
gonna win.
elaborate on that. Like, why do you think you're gonna win? Why should your team win?
Because we were supposed to be the underdogs this year. Everyone thought since the whole team was new and so young that we didn't have a chance and that we're going to take us a while in the future to get there. No, we actually made it the whole way through, and now I think we're just going to come through with it with a win.
But your reasoning as we're underdogs isn't really that good of a reason. Like, yeah, we're underdogs. We're going to win this because we're underdogs. Like, no.
No.
That'd be a cool story.
Yeah.
Their quarterback coming back from an injury, leading them to a Super Bowl win. That would be a cool story.
Yeah.
But it's a fake story. It's a match made in heaven, which is very, very slim. Now, if they somehow do win, will I eat my words? No. Because obviously, they have a chance. Obviously, they're in the game, so they have a chance to win.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see it. I'm getting with my friends to see it, mainly because this is my one excuse to eat bad food. And I'm like, listen, just put the game on, give me some buffalo chicken dip, I'll be fine.
And the halftime show is going to be really good too.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like everybody who's listened to the '90s rap.
Yes.
This is that game, and I'm so excited because Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem. Who else is playing tonight? Halftime show.
Mary J. Blige and Kendrick Lamar.
Man, that's gonna be a banger. I
Yeah,
cannot wait
it's
for
gonna
that.
be good.
Did either of you guys watch the Pro Bowl at all?
I did.
You did. What are your thoughts on that?
Knew the AFC was going to win.
Yeah.
That was your thought.
100. Oh yeah.
Your thoughts were why are these two kids playing hand tag or tag football,
Compared
flag football?
to earlier years, it was weak. It was actually weak to watch.
Yeah. That's one of the thoughts I had was why are these grown men playing tag football, two-hand tag football, in an NFL stadium? They at least need to be competitive a little bit.
Yeah.
If Sean Taylor, if you saw that highlight of him cracking the punter, I want that. He's rolling around in his grave right now, looking at these grown men playing flag football, and I watched it for a second. I'm like, you know what? I'm not watching this anymore. And I saw Micah Parsons tackle Patrick Mahomes, which was you know what? Okay,
cool.
I get it.
Yeah.
I love Micah Parsons. He's from Penn State. Apparently faster than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, how is that even possible? He's the cheetah, and he got beat by a linebacker. And even which is weird because with all that skill on the defense of the Cowboys, they still didn't get past the first round, which I love so much.
Yeah.
I think you hate the Cowboys, right?
Yeah. I
Okay,
just
good.
hate the Steelers. The Steelers are my team that I do not have nothing good to say about them.
You can find something good to say.
No. Nope.
Just dig deep. You can find something. All right, we'll let you think about it for a second.
Okay.
But the Cowboys, obviously my uncle's a Cowboy fan, and anytime they lose, I always text him how about them Cowboys? And he gets so mad. And I love it too, because I'm like, listen, you guys have so much talent in the world, but your coaching staff is inadequate, and you lose in the first round. One and done team. And I'm like, it's the same thing. And they're ruining Prescott's career, Elliott's career, Michael Parsons' career, every person on the team's career. And I'm like, this is so sad.
You could also say another team that got the short end of the stick in the playoffs was the Buffalo Bills. They had a lot of terrible things go their way.
Well, the most terrible thing was the overtime.
Yep, overtime rules, and that can be a long debate. Should they change it?
They need to change it.
Yep.
They need to change it because this happened against the Patriots and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Mahomes didn't get the ball, so they didn't get to go.
Yeah.
Which is weird because when Mahomes got the ball back, he threw a pick immediately after.
Yeah.
In the AFC Championship game this year. So I still think they just need to change it because I know in high school when we played football, it was you get the ball on your opponent's 20, you score, you keep moving.
Yeah.
I think if you kick a field goal and they get a touchdown, it's over. But if you keep getting touchdowns, you keep going. That's how I think it should be, honestly.
Yeah.
That should take a cue from high school football.
College football is the 2-point conversions over and over and over again,
I
which
would
I think is really entertaining.
I would like to see just the team's best cornerback and the team's best receiver just do a fade ball. And whoever catches it wins. I want that so bad. They need to do that in the Pro Bowl. They need to do that for like kind of like a shootout in hockey.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Or like
Field goals until you miss.
yeah.
That would be
basically.
interesting.
I mean, Evan McPherson would nail all of them.
Justin Tucker.
I want to see Justin Tucker
Yeah.
versus Evan McPherson.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Ready Cam 5. Tyler, stay on that. I want to try to get a reaction.
In communications media, hands-on opportunities are essential. I mean, if people want to leave their education and have the right training to go into the production field in any regard, sports or anything, having that hands-on opportunity is absolutely critical. And we think this class really gives them top to bottom every kind of experience they could possibly want. This is our COM 360 Digital Sports Production course. It's a live sports production course. Tonight we're doing IUP men's and women's basketball. The students are all involved in the various aspects of the production.
From the first game to now, I actually understand basketball lingo. The most basketball I knew before was like Space Jam. It's like I understand how to do the rundowns, which is just pretty much setting up how the game should go as a producer side and ensuring that I have that active communication with the crew.
I am the play-by-play analyst, and I'm also a pre-show producer, and I actually work sort of with graphics a little bit. I'm a sophomore. I wanted to get started on my live production resume and portfolio. Wanted to get a head start on it, and doing this live production was the best way to start it.
To be quite honest, the reason I took this class is I've always had a love for sports and broadcasting in general. I feel like it gives me the necessary tools I need to succeed in life and on all my future endeavors, get you a real taste of what kind of putting a real basketball production is like.
You have to be accurate and fast at the same time. Like there's a lot more on the line than just regular production. You're on a time limit and you have to get things right, and it's just, it pushes you to do better.
The experience that any student that takes this course gets is literally invaluable, because what better way are you going to get on the job real world training than doing the job in the real world?
Personally, this draft class for me isn't really the most exciting as the past. Like, you already know who's going number 1, probably Aiden Hutchinson to Jacksonville. And then what happens after that? There's just a lot of guys.
You mean the black hole called Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're going to waste Trevor Lawrence's.
Yeah.
I mean, they signed Doug Peterson, Jacksonville, which I agree with the signing because he is a Super Bowl winning coach, and not the college coach who grinded up on a college student being unfaithful to his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was caught on camera. I'm like, why are you, what is this? Like, you've been here for 2 weeks and you've already caused him trouble. And then he won a game in London, not in the States.
Yep.
And yeah, I think they're going to do better with Peterson, obviously. Just depending on how much.
Jacksonville was just kind of a joke of a team this year because you expected a lot from James Robinson. Urban Meyer hardly used the guy.
Yeah.
And then he gets injured at the end of the season whenever he finally gets to start playing. So Trevor Lawrence was kind of upsetting. He started picking up at the end, but still not the greatest rookie year. Maybe he has a year like next year, like Joe Burrow did this year, kind of a sophomore season.
But I guess speaking of running backs, did you hear that Alvin Kamara just got arrested and possibly charged 5 years of prison for assault and battery?
At the Pro Bowl.
At the Pro Bowl. Like, what is it with these athletes getting in trouble? Like, don't you know that, like, just because you're an athlete, you're not untouchable?
Yeah.
You can still get in trouble like that.
It seems like all the big things happened in Vegas this year.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl in Vegas. There was the whole Henry Ruggs situation happened in Vegas.
That's what I was just gonna ask you guys.
Yeah.
What team were you most impressed with this season, other than the Bengals?
Impressed? The Rams.
Really?
Because I didn't know, because with the horrible success of the Lions, I didn't know if it was Stafford or if it was the Lions, but now since we saw how well he's playing in Los Angeles, we know that it was the Lions that was the cancer, and now, the Rams are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Bengals, they surprised me, obviously. I know when I understand it. I don't hate the Bengals,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I don't like them either.
I was definitely shocked with the Raiders. They lost their coach. They
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
One of their best players was hurt. The other player clearly can't be in the NFL anymore.
Well, there's two. Well, actually, one, it was Ruggs, but it was Damon Arnett who posted the video of like the guns on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he got released, but then he got signed by somebody, but then released again.
Yeah.
So I don't know if like he's on a team right now. We'll have to look into this.
And then Waller came back, which
Yeah.
helped them. That's what I was nervous about whenever we played them.
Yeah, Waller came back. Renfro made a lot of strides.
He's really good.
Yeah.
That 2019, 2018, 2020 draft class of the receivers,
Yeah.
that was the best receiving draft class I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That had like what, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, Deontay Johnson, Hunter Renfro, all these like big superstar names. I was like, what in the, why that year? What is this? And then, with the Raiders having that head coach coming in for Gruden, who, with the whole email scandal, and is that lawsuit still going through right now?
I think it is.
I think it is too.
Okay, we're gonna have to check on see how far that is. But that head coach coming in and doing what he did to at least get them to the playoffs was incredible. If I had to pick up the most stressful part of the season for me, it was like the last 10 seconds of the Chargers and Raiders game when they're overtime, and I'm like, just don't let this go into tie, man. Like, why?
Yeah.
I wanted it to be a tie so the Steelers wouldn't make it, but then I also didn't want it to be a tie because that means we would have had to play the Chiefs first round.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
so
I
you're
did not
happy
want
now.
that. Yeah, so I was like, okay.
Yeah, well, the Raiders were gonna go for the tie, but it's the fact that the Chargers called a timeout. They're like, you know what? Let's
just win.
Let's just go for the win.
Knock them out.
And what I hated the most was Derek Carr's smug face when he called timeout 2 seconds later. You like, I'm losing like 20 years of my life here, and you're smiling. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I heard that Coach Tomlin actually fell asleep like halftime.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what if he just woke up and they lost? Like, he was gonna get ready to go to the Steelers facility and get the game plan for the Raiders, the Chargers, and somebody calls him like, hey coach, they tied, you're out. I kind of want them to tie now because I wanted to see what that was like.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been hilarious, honestly.
Exactly.
But as far as the Bucs goes and their issues, what do you guys think of Antonio Brown running off this field against the Jets?
I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised.
Not shocked.
No.
Do you think his whole situation of being as crazy as he is started in 2015 when he got hit in the head by Montez Burfict against the Bengals?
No.
I don't think so.
You don't think that was the reason?
No.
I like to think so, but it's so coincidental how from that point on, that's when kind of things went downhill.
Yeah.
No.
Here's the thing about Antonio Brown you can also debate about. Does that hurt his Hall of Fame, eligibility? Because with his stats, he was definitely a Hall of Fame wide receiver. And he's not officially done yet. I don't think anyone's going to sign him, of course. But you look at, I don't really care about the off-the-field issues. Because I care when it comes to Hall of Fame, I look at on the field. How did you perform? But you could also put the on the field issue with him just leaving the game with that. And that's how you end your career. I don't know.
That's a great question. I mean, we've seen receivers that are divas.
Yeah.
Terrell Owens, his whole thing of doing sit-ups during an interview.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an off-field moment. But when you Antonio Brown running off the field, does that count off-field issue?
Yeah, that's what people are saying, debating right now because he's leaving the game, so he's not really involved in the game. But at the same time, he threw his gloves in the crowd
And ran onto the field.
Yeah, literally just left the game.
They were in getting ready to do a play, and he just skirting out of the end zone.
Yeah.
What is this? I've never seen this once in my life. But there's one fond memory I have of Brown, and that's him crane kicking the Browns punter right in the face. And I saw that live. I'm like, this is the funniest.
Your future beckons, calling from a place where there's plenty of room to grow, where possibilities are abundant, where you'll be challenged every day to uncover the best version of you, where you can blossom. The place, IUP. Here, like the clusters of oaks in our renowned oak grove, we're united in helping you reach new heights. Ready to heed the call? Get in the Grove at IUP.
I think it's going to be really close and really high scoring. I'm
Yeah.
going to take LA somehow getting it at the end, I think in the fourth quarter. I'm going to say like 36-28. I think Cooper Kupp wins MVP.
I think it's going to be 24-31 Rams, but the Rams score the touchdown in like the remaining seconds.
Yeah.
I was going to say 36-28 us.
36-28. So basically that's 8 points afterwards. So you think like they're going to get like a touchdown and 2-point conversion?
I think we're a second half scoring team.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I think we might be underdog. I think we're not going to be winning it in the first half.
Yeah.
I think after halftime is where it's going to cut it close, and then we're going to win.
The Rams are definitely the first half team out of the both.
Yeah.
So that's what worries me about this game with the Rams. Like, are they going to play a full game like we haven't seen yet this playoff? I think the only full one was definitely against the Cardinals in the wild card.
Yeah.
And then we saw what happened against Tampa Bay. They almost blew it in the division.
Do you think Jamar Chase is going to have above or below 100 yards receiving?
I'm going to say below just because I think they're going to use Tyler Boyd a lot more.
I think they're going to double Jamar Chase, and he's going to do below. Because if the Rams signed Eric Weddle just for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to get doubled, and it's going to leave T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd a little more open.
I think Higgins might be our player of this for this game.
You think he's going to be the MVP?
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely could show up. But how many times do you think they're going to sack Joe Burrow?
Hopefully none.
I'm going to say 4 times, and I think Donald gets 2.
I think it's going to be like 7+, honestly. Because that pass rush for the Titans wasn't as good as the Rams.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the Bengals are going to combat that at all. Because the run game, it's okay. It's showing flashes. Like, Joe Mixon's good, but he's not like a 3-down back.
Yeah.
He's more of like, he get like 2 yards rushing, then like a 15-yard hole. And I'm like, it's okay, but it's not really, I mean, he runs it, and then he gets a 15-yard game to keep drives alive. But as far as sustaining drives, I don't know if really that's what he does. And the Rams' rush defense is one of the best in the league. So they might just take out the run game at all and force Joe to throw it like 50+ times, which will then increase his chances of getting sacked, and then will increase his chance of getting injured. Will also increase the chance of the Bengals losing.
I think an X-factor player for both teams. I think it's Hubbard on the defense of the Bengals.
Yeah.
And then you got Von Miller, though, on the Rams. So they just got him. He's been kind of quiet, but I think he might get an interception or something.
When they triple team Donald, because they were going to need to.
Yeah.
That's going to leave Von Miller one-on-one. I mean, granted, where he is of age, he's still good. And we saw him against the Bucs.
Yeah. And then he had that Panthers Super Bowl moment, too.
That was like 7 years ago.
Do we see that again?
Maybe. Possibly. I mean, if the Bengals are like the 2015 Panthers, I don't know.
2 teams based off of cats.
If you don't come in on Monday, I understand why.
Okay.
But if you win, obviously you'll come in and then you'll gloat about it, probably coming in wearing your Bengals jersey.
I will be wearing my jersey.
Well, then I'll make sure you do a segment next week.
Okay.
Regarding the Bengals. You know what? I'll make you do a segment regarding of whether they win or lose.
Oh, that's terrible.
The atmosphere will depend on whether or not they win. It's going to be sad if they lose, but it's going to be happy if they win.
Yes.
So if you have any kind of voodoo magic, I suggest you work it.
Okay.
But I guess that is it for this episode. I'm excited to see where kind of the structure goes. I honestly like sitting down and just talking like this instead of kind of like bringing up statistics or anything. We will keep doing this, and then we'll also see you guys next episode.